Peace and love unto you all. Peace and love unto the redeemed and the golden builders. Peace and love unto Congo Watu. Peace and love unto Dr. Pa Kwesi. Peace and love unto Emeritus Professor Dr. Apostle Kojo Safo Kantanka. Peace and love unto you, and peace and love unto myself. Beloved, we are continuing from the previous video. Today, I'm going to complete the series on the soul. So in the previous video, we reached the fifth dimension, which is the spiritual dimension. We reached the emotions, where emotions are formed. So just a quick summary of the previous video. This teachings is about the soul. You being able to identify the soul, what the soul is, what it means, its origin, how it works. We learned in the previous video that you are two. So the world gave you the letter W. Yes, the letter W is trying to tell you that you are double. One of you is the physical and one of you is the spiritual, which is your soul. So we started with the 9 dimensions and we go to the 5th dimension. Let me make a clarity here. If you want to talk about the 9 dimensions, then the 5th dimension is the spiritual dimension. But if you are talking about the 7 planes, then the spiritual dimension, which happens to be the 5th dimension, will actually be the 3rd plane. So the soul is all about the 9 dimensions or the 7 planes. To develop your soul, you have to master the 7 planes or the 7 dimensions, starting from the 3rd dimension all the way to the 9th dimension. Because consciousness, higher consciousness, starts from man. So we do away with the 1st dimension, which is the animal dimension, which is the living cell or amino acid dimension, and then the animal dimension. We leave those two out. Then we start from 3rd dimension, because that is where man is. That is where the conscious being called man, that is where he is. So today we will continue from where we got to. Brethren, yesterday I was telling you that you should know and understand that the soul, its development, the mind, its development is very, very important, because these are the only two main purpose of man on earth. Yes, there have been a lot of sayings, a lot of teachings, a lot of talks on the purpose of man. But these are the main two purposes of man on earth: developing your mind and developing your soul. The mind is for the physical, the soul is for the spiritual. So all the knowledge, the experience you accumulate physically, it is stored in your mind, subconsciousness. That is where the souls feed from. So the soul picks it from the source, from the mental plane, from the origin, then it gives it back to the mind. Then the physical body will pick it from the mind. Then you will create physically. So the right brain and the left brain always have to be in balance. I've told you already that the right brain is the soul. The right brain is for esoteric knowledge, is for divine knowledge. The left brain is for scientific knowledge, is for physical knowledge. So all the subjects we know in our curriculum is all about physical knowledge. It's all scientific. And all the subject that we teach, which we cannot use our eyes to see, more of human behavioral, more of theory, more of thoughts, visions, dreams, all these ones are esoteric. It is on the right brain. Now, the soul. We learned that the very first point of developing your soul is the plane of force. The plane of force, or the second dimension, in terms of talking about starting from the third dimension. So the third dimension will be first, and the second dimension will be the plane of force. But if you're talking about the ninth dimension, third dimension is the material world, and the fourth dimension is the plane of force. The plane of force is the voluntary and involuntary actions of the mind. That's the very first point that you have to master. These two forces, voluntary and involuntary. You have to master these two forces. That's the very first point of developing your soul. You being able to master good over evil. Yes, right over wrong. Taking good decisions in your mind, anything you do from all works of life, anything you do, taking the right decisions. You have to calculate the negativity of your actions before you take the final decision, the positivity before you take the final decision. That is why humans, in your mind, always you have this fight or this struggle in decision making. I want to do this, something still don't do that. I want to go here, something still don't go. That is the involuntary and the voluntary forces that are controlling your mind. So you have to balance them. You have to master so that always and always you will make the right decisions. You will master good over evil. That's the very first level of developing your soul. That's the plane of force. And we go to the third plane, in this case, the fifth dimension, which is the spiritual dimension. And the spiritual dimension is where emotions are formed. This is where emotions are formed, because now you being able to master these two forces, the voluntary and involuntary, you can make decisions. Out of decisions, you make decisions out from the reactions and reactions from your soul. So now emotions are formed. Here too, you have to master your emotions. Mastering your emotions is the second point of developing the soul. Mastering your emotions is the second point of developing the soul. So, brethren, beloved, you have to master your emotions. Emotions are not just there for you to be using it against people, are not just part of you for you to be acting weird. No, it is there for you to master. That is the ascending steps of the soul. Every stage you have to master it so that you be upgraded or you ascend to the next level or to the next higher level. So you have to master your emotions. That is the spiritual dimension. Spiritual dimension is emotions. So the human development, the soul development, the third stage is developing mastering your emotions. You should not let emotions overcome you. Don't feel pride in your emotions. In Akan language, some people used to say, I am like that. That is my behavior. Yes, we can classify human beings in terms of temperament. This is melancholic, but I'm telling you, it is not there for you to live it forever and ever. No, it is there for you to master. You have to master your emotions. How? Here, emotions is energy. Emotions means energy in motion. Energy in motion. Emotions formed when Adam was given the free will. Listen and listen very carefully. Normally, when I'm teaching, I normally use the word listen and listen very carefully, which means I'm coming to review a secret, or is one of the main points you have to note. When his soul was created spiritually in the 8th dimension, it was time for his soul to descend and come all the way to the 3rd dimension. So the physical body, that the prototype or the copy of the physical body in the 8th dimension spiritually, Adam was hesitating, his soul was hesitating to enter the body. He was hesitating to incarnate into this 3rd dimension. Because already, if you want to incarnate into this 3rd dimension, as a soul, you know what you go through. Because everything you'll be doing in this third dimension, your journey, you arrange it actually. You arrange everything where you'll be born, your mother, your father, your friends, your siblings, your husband, your wife, your job, everything is arranged. So it is arranged 400 years before the soul incarnate. Your life journey in this material world is always arranged in the heavens, in the higher planes, from the 8th dimension, where the Father is arranged 400 years before the soul incarnate, or before the child is born. So you know all this. So Adam was hesitating to enter the physical body. So he had a decision. Listen very carefully. So here, since the power of will was given to him, and as a matter of fact, the power of will is the force of who, Hu. So the creative force that was used to create Adam is the creative force of who. That is why Adam and his generation are called humans. So Adam is a man, but he is called man from the word who. That's the creative force. The creative force is the power of will. That will that was given to Adam. From his will, he made a decision not to enter the physical body. So that was when emotions formed. The very time the soul formed emotions, that was the very first time. Emotions formed. So from emotions, you could see he was, from his free will, he was challenging order because he felt like he doesn't want to enter the physical body. That's the soul. I'm talking about Adam's soul. He doesn't want to enter the physical body. So here he has made a decision to challenge authority. So you see how human beings behave with their emotions. When you are emotional, when you act from your emotions, you always take wrong decisions. You always take wrong actions. So you are not supposed to take decisions and actions when you are emotional. You have to allow your emotions to settle. And you must master your emotions. When you are emotional, or in a situation where you find yourself being emotional, who do you become emotional against? It's your fellow human being. Can you become emotional against trees, against animals? Of course, sometimes you can become emotional against animals, but much of the time, it's against your fellow human being. And remember, your fellow human being is a soul as you. You are not supposed to hurt any soul. So you must master your emotions. From your husband, your wife, your children, your teachers, your pastors, your bosses, your colleagues, anybody at all. In your dealings with humans, you must master your emotions so that at the end of the day, you balance your life with each and every one. Peace and love. Peace and love. You live in peace, you live in unity, you live happily with each and every one. This is what the Father requires from you. This is the third stage of developing your soul. The redeemed and golden builders. You are the teachers of the next evolution. So you have a very higher task. You have to master your emotions, because if you don't master your emotions, how can you be upgraded? Because from the plane of force, where you're able to control the voluntary and involuntary actions of your brain, then you'll be upgraded to the emotions. That is the spiritual level or spiritual dimension where emotions are. If you are able to master your emotions, then you'll be upgraded to the plane of the divine plane of truth, all the way to the ninth dimension. But brother, if you don't master your emotions, you will come back, you will incarnate, you will incarnate, you will incarnate, and incarnate. Of course, incarnation is rare, but reincarnation is not rare. So reincarnation is a teaching, or is a spiritual science of Hindus. It's Hinduism, it's Hindu spirituality. It is not rare. But incarnation is rare. So incarnation is of we the Nubians. Incarnation. In means within. Car is a vehicle or is a vessel. Nation is a group of people. So we, the souls, we come within, we incarnate into planet Earth. We take body, yeah, we take body or avatars, and come to planet Earth, then live life as a group of people. That's the meaning of incarnation. But reincarnation is not real. That is the matrix. The matrix a lot of people are talking about against Christianity, against religion, against all these numerous religions where some are preaching the gospel that religion is a mattress. That mattress is the reincarnation. So while you are supposed to ascend to higher dimension in your incarnations, the archons, the demons, and their master, the devil, they capture your soul, then bring you back to planet Earth. So the heaven they claim you are going in religion and Christianity is this third heaven. Is the third heaven. Is the third dimension. Is the material world. That is why Apostle Paul, he told you he was caught up in the third heaven. So the heaven Apostle Paul went is still this third dimension. How many heavens do we have? We have 7 heavens, the plane of the 7 planes, the 7 heavens. The very first one is the third heaven. The third heaven is the material world, is this planet Earth. So the heaven the Christians are going in their Bible and they chant and preach and preach and preach is this third dimension. That is the matrix. So when you die, instead of you ascending to 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, the archons, the demons, and their master, the devil, they capture your soul because you are worshiping them. So they have your soul. Because when in Christianity, in religion, you willingly donate your soul to them by accepting their God, their Christ. There are 3 Jesus in the Bible. Which of them are you worshiping? That's another topic I'll come and teach. 3 Jesuses in the Bible. Which of them are you worshiping? One of them is whom the Christians are worshiping. And they claim he to be the Messiah, he to be the Savior. But no, he's not the one. The real Messiah, the real Jesus is not the one they give to the church. So he's not the one the Christians are worshiping. So they give out their soul to the fake Messiah, to the fake Jesus. So when you die, instead of you ascending to 4th, 5th, 6th dimension, they trap your soul and bring you back. So that's the reincarnation. That's the matrix. So they bring you back. They say you are going to heaven. Indeed, you go to a heaven, but which heaven? You go to the third heaven. That's why in the Bible, the highest heaven in the Bible is the third heaven. The third heaven is the third plane, is the material world, is the third dimension. It's this same planet Earth. So you keep on going and coming, going and coming. That's the reincarnation. It's not real. It's illusion. It's the work of the devil. So now fast forward. After developing your emotions, that is the second stage of developing your soul. Now the third stage of developing your soul, the redeemed and golden breeders. Listen and listen very carefully. I need your attention. The third stage is the mental plane. And the mental plane, if you want to look at the 9 dimensions, it will be the 6th dimension. But if you want to look at the 7 planes, here it will be the 3rd plane. The 6th dimension or the 4th heaven is the mental plane. The mental plane. And the mental plane is the plane of thought. That is where the spirit and the soul meet. So, brother, know and understand that the mental plane, which is the 6th dimension, when you want to start from 1st all the way to 9, is the 6th dimension. But if you want to start from the 7 planes, it will actually be the 3rd. Sorry, it will actually be the 4th heaven. Everyone, especially New Age spirituality, people who claim to be awakened, everyone is claiming they get downloads from the mental plane. They can access the mental plane. They can access the Akashic records. I'm telling you with my chest out as Prophet R33, that 99.9% of them are lying. The mental plane is not a joking area. It's not a joke. You have to master the third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension before the sixth dimension, which is the mental plane. Or you have to master the third heaven, the fourth heaven, the fifth heaven. Those who claim they get downloads, those who claim they have access to the mental plane, look at their life. Check them, you will know. Look at the information they bring. That's why they cannot give you the truth, the fact, and the reality. They give you still Hindu spirituality. They mix things up for you. If indeed you are taking the information from the Akashic records or you are downloading from the mental plane, you should give the exact what is there. You should not be giving illusions and distorting our story. Our story is what you call history or the written knowledge. That is my field. So you cannot deceive me. That's why I know that they are lying. It is my field, written knowledge as a prophet. That is my field. And our leader is Angel Michael. He's Amun-Ra. He's Marduk, the son of Enki. That's my boss. That's my father. So that's why I have the name Son of the Sun, because Marduk is the sun. So the sun in the Bible Christian claim, they don't even know the sun. The Trinity is not Yeshua. I will teach another topic on the Trinity. The actual Trinity against the Dark Age Trinity. I will teach it so that you know the actual Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Mother. They gave you their own Trinity in Dark Age, claiming Yeshua. It's not even Yeshua. Their own Jesus is the Son. When was Jesus born? When did Jesus start evolution in this entire universe? That he is the Son. Yes, Yeshua's uncle is Marduk. Enki's first son is Marduk. Enki is the father. The mother is Mami Ninti. The son is Marduk. That's the Trinity, the actual Trinity. But Dark Age gave you their own Trinity. They gave you Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, no mother. Common sense will tell you if you have Father and you have Son, then of course you have a mother who will give birth to the Son. That's Dark Age. Dark Age is full of lies, full of illusions. Not scientific, not pure esoteric knowledge, beliefs, and faith. So you should understand that the mental plane of thought, where all thought are. So the mental plane is a grade of the Father, the Son, and the Mother, their mind, and the mind of the 9 ether gases. Everything is connected. So your mind is connected to the mental plane. But of course, if you don't develop the soul all the way to that level, how can you access the mental plane? How can you tap information? So people who get visions, dreams, and sometimes these archons and demons drop information into their brain and mind and subconsciousness, they think they have downloaded information from the mental plane. It is the plane of thought where all thoughts come from. So anytime you think, it's the mental plane. Anytime information drops into your mind, it's the mental plane. But the development of your soul, how your soul have developed, the strength of your soul, the level of your soul, the dimension of your soul will determine the kind of information you can tap or the kind of information you can receive. Some of the things I tell you, my teachers, they drop just a little info. They don't give me details as I give you details. They just drop a little info for me. And since my soul have developed enough to a certain level, when they even how little they drop, I am able to tap the whole information. Because that little, my mind will follow that little and go into the Akashic records or the mental plane and download all the information around it. It is like a lecturer gives you a topic. Let's say it gives you a topic like awakening. That's the only topic has given awakening. So you have to go and do research about everything about awakening and come and give it back to him. So that's how it's done. That is why many people say they claim they have downloads, but when they present the information, it is not exact. You can see potholes. You can see they mix things up, especially the dimensions. They have mixed the dimensions up. So if they mix the dimensions up and they teach you, how will you be able to follow and master and ascend? Because if you have not mastered voluntary and involuntary, you cannot jump all the way to go and master the plane of thought, the mental plane. And you cannot jump all the way from the mental plane and come back to let's say emotions, spiritual dimension, and come and master. No, you have to follow the ladder. So that's why you mix things up. It's in order, bit by bit, because you cannot jump from class 1 and go all the way to class 6. You cannot jump from primary education and jump all the way to tertiary education. No. And you cannot jump from tertiary education and come back to primary education. Meanwhile, you are supposed to go to advanced knowledge, master level. So they mix things up for you. So know and understand that the mental plane is the plane of thought where thoughts are formed. So now the soul, you have mastered emotions. So the next level after mastering your emotions is thought. Now the soul is matured enough to form his or her own thoughts. Listen very carefully. There's a key here. The mental plane is the plane of thought. And the mental plane is where the soul and the spirit meet. They meet and thoughts are formed. When the spirit and the soul meet, thoughts are formed. This is the trick. The spirit is gender. People claim there's no gender in the universe, in the spiritual world, there's no gender. It's because they don't know. It's because they don't have scientific knowledge. They only have the esoteric knowledge. If you have scientific knowledge, you know that energy, we have positive and negative. In energy, we have the positive, the negative, and the neutral. Learn a bit about electricals. You need the neutral, the live wire. You need the black, you need the blue, and you need the red. So that's the Trinity. I said I will teach you the actual Trinity, and you will know. So everything you are enjoying from electricity on earth is the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Mother. The Father, and the Son, and the Mother. Check your electricals. You have 3 wires. Do research, learn, because you don't have scientific knowledge. So gender exists in the universe. One of the 9 universal principles or universal laws is gender. You can never change gender. Gender exists in the universe, both scientifically and esoterically. It exists. So the spirit is gender. So as a spirit, are you male or you are female? So if you as a human being in your soul journey or your soul evolution, in mastering all these dimensions, all these planes, when you get to the plane, the mental plane, where thoughts are formed, that is where your spirit will meet your soul, because now your soul is matured enough to merge with your spirit. So when your soul merge with your spirit, that is where you have identity. So this is where the soul starts to have its own identity, its own life, separate life. That's what I'm saying. Listen very carefully. This is where the key is. So this is where you start becoming a god. So when you master the mental plane, then you become angelic, then you become God when you go to the next level. That is the divine plane of truth. That's where the angelic beings are. That is where the Elohims are. That's why you call them God, God, God. God means you are your own master. You can create, you can lead, you can guide, you can save, you can present yourself in any form. That is the soul. You can appear and disappear because you are energy, you have pure energy. Because the mental plane is the 6th dimension. But when it comes to the 7 heavens, it will actually be the third. Sorry, it will actually be the fourth. So now I understand that the plane of thought is not is a no joke area, it's a no-go area for souls who have not mastered. Don't be deceived. So here, that is where the soul and the spirit meet and they merge to become one. So when they become one, that soul, that human being, is he a male or female? So if you are male, then that soul now who has merged with the spirit, and the spirit is male, so he has male energy, masculine energy. So you'll be vibrating as a masculine energy. If the soul or that human being, physical human being, is a female, then his female energy, spirit, will merge with the soul and become one. So he becomes a goddess when he masters the mental plane and goes to the divine plane of truth. That is the angelic plane. So when he becomes angel, he becomes a goddess. But if the physical being is male, so when his spirit, the male spirit, merges with the soul in the fourth dimension, the sixth dimension, or the fourth plane, he becomes a god when he ascends to the divine plane of truth where the angels are. The divine plane of truth, that is the next dimension. That is where the angels are. That is where the angel Michaels are. That is where the children of Anu are. That's where the Elohims are. So you become a goddess as a female and you become a god as a male. So that is where your God status starts. So indeed, we are all chanting, we are all children of the Father, we are God, we are God. But until you develop your soul to this level, you are not God. Until you develop your soul to the mental plane and master the mental plane, you don't have identity. You don't have a individual life. You don't have any access. You don't have any permission to operate in the universe as an individual being. That is why some of you who want to do soul travel, who want to do time travel, you need somebody to take you because you don't have that permission. You have not graduated. You have not finished the school of the soul development, the school journey of the soul. You have not completed. You have not graduated. I am taking my time to explain the soul's journey and its development to you. It's my job. It's my work. That is why I came here. Especially you, the redeemed, who are going to be the teachers of the next evolution, just as I'm doing. I am only teaching because it's my job. And it is your job to share these reality teachings to your friends, for them to join. Don't be deceived. So this is the trick. If you master the mental plane, your spirit, mental plane is the plane of thought, where the mind and the spirit, the soul and the spirit meet. Then that is where you become an individual. The soul become a complete soul. He's fully developed. So now this soul, the Father recognizes this soul as who he is, and a name is given to him when he gets to the divine plane of truth. When he gets to the seventh dimension, a name is given to him. So he has his angelic name. He has his identity. He's a goddess as a female and God as a male. So Angel Michael, he has his angelic name. Yeshua has his angelic name. All the angels, and all the angels. And when I get to the divine plane of truth, I will explain the angel to you. It's a corrected name of angel. I will explain it to you. When I get there, I will explain and you understand. They all have the angelic names. I have mine, but I will not tell you. So don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. So that is the sixth dimension, the plane of thought. So you see how it is. You have never heard this teaching before. Yes, you will never hear, because it was dark age. Now it is golden age. So we are here to teach you the reality. That is why you need the reality teachings. That is why I told you before that to develop the soul, the Father tied it to astrology. That's why I told you the teachings of Dr. Parkwesi is compulsory for every African, every Nubian. He's not teaching Ghanaians. He's laying a foundation of African astrology for the golden age. So it is compulsory for every African to study and learn from him. He is a god of astrology. He's one of your fathers. Dr. Pakwasi, don't look at the body. I've told you, you are two. So he's also two. He has his spiritual side and the physical side. So the physical side you are seeing, that's not the real him. He's the real soul. He's your father. He's one of the Elohims, the children of the Most High. He has been sent to lay the foundation of African civilization, and he's handling astrology and astronomy. Give him his credit. What is he teaching you? Nobody is teaching you. Give him his flowers. Give him his flowers. Dr. Pakwasi, give him his flowers. So, brother, don't be deceived. Brethren, don't be deceived. You have to pass before you become a god. And you'll be given your identity. You'll be given your angelic name. And you'll be given your territory. You'll be given your subject to rule and handle. So just as I'm doing, in the next evolution, you the redeemed, you'll be upgraded and you'll be given a mission to complete. So when you complete the mission, you'll still be upgraded. That is how it works. So it is human beings who went through evolution and became the gods. Not any angels with wings, not any spirit. No.